I click all the buttons.
Clicked on the buttons?
I clicked on the buttons. Look, they're all there.
Yeah.
I clicked them all.
We just have to get StreamYard to play nice with Instagram again.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
That was definitely weird. And I was like, I gave up. So if you're used to watching us on Instagram, sorry, that ain't happening today. Couldn't make it to work. Anyway, it is 8 o'clock. It is Monday. And if it is Monday at 8 o'clock, then it is Mighty Monkeys Corporation's Nerd World Weekly. I am your host. My name is Chris. This young lady to my left is also known as Tanya. Sometimes. Other times. Mom. Mrs. Metris. Hey, Metris. You over there. Kim.
Bitch.
I call you Kim once in a while.
Yeah. Not Kim. I'm not a Kimberly.
No, well, actually, technically
I am, but just, I don't feel like I'm a Kimberly.
What are we doing today?
We're talking Superman.
Superman. Yay.
However, one of my former students said she didn't get to see Puppy's face last week.
She didn't get to see Puppy's. Oh, it's a complaint. But she was up right at the beginning of the show last week.
Most of Puppy, but Puppy's face was this way.
Well, you know.
I know.
I can't control the puppy.
Right, but she's like,
I can't.
So, like the next day,
I can barely manage the puppy.
The next day, she's like, "Can I see the puppy?"
Okay.
And so I had to look.
This is for student.
What?
It's a student.
Look, right. That's right.
It's a Juno sighting for everybody.
Oh no! No, let me go this. Thank you. Ah, stop it.
Hi, Peter. Hit puppy.
Yes.
Point blank to the face. There we go.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay, she really got my hair. Oh, look. Now she's looking at the camera. No, don't look at me. Look at the camera.
But she wants to slurp you.
No sort of slurping. She's been obnoxious.
Well, she's a baby. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think she also recognizes my sugar levels.
Well, yeah, but that's a thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're talking
Superman. We have seen it. We have watched it. We have loved it. I've liked it.
I liked it.
You like it?
I was telling Anne, I said, you know what? This one makes me want to be a DC fan.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That makes a point that I was going to make later. So here's the thing. 2025 Superman. It is the first major offering from James Gunn's DCU. Okay. And good. Very good. So here we are. We're in spoiler territory, kids. Spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, now is the best time to go ahead and walk away from this particular broadcast, come by and watch it again in a couple of days when you've had the opportunity. It was, you know what, I was telling Melissa on the way out that it really felt like a DC comic book. It really did. DC comic books can be a little chaotic. They can be a little weird. They can be a little off kilter from time to time. There was a lot going on, but you know what? It wasn't like a chaotic mess.
No.
It was, everything had a reason. Everything had a purpose. It all kind of wove together. You had some supporting characters that became main characters became supporting characters. It was a lot of fun. I thought so, at least. And
the one piece of trivia that makes it seem nostalgic, the comic book. The return of Superman's iconic trunks was requested by David Cornsweet, who justified it thusly. I'm an alien from outer space who can fly and lift buildings, and I shoot laser beams out of my eyes that can dissolve things.
Mm-hmm.
I want kids to not be afraid of me, so what am I going to wear?
Yep.
His underoos.
He's going to undermine himself just a little bit visually so that people see him as approachable, right? And I thought that was a brilliant way to look at it. Now, the big controversy that has sprouted up over the past few months is a lot of people were already writing this particular movie off because it seemed silly. It seemed goofy. It was too colorful. These are folks who are like begging for the return of the Snyderverse. And in my opinion, mind you, and this is just my opinion, the Snyderverse was a big discredit to DC Comics. Now, DC Comics and Marvel Comics have always kind of been differentiated because Marvel Comics are regular, everyday folks who, for the most part, have found their way into extraordinary situations, either by become mutants, technology, some sort of accident, whatever the case may be. But a lot of Marvel folks are regular, everyday folks who have become something else. Whereas in DC, I've noticed the difference between that. DC heroes tend to be these established, the metahuman is the term used often. An alien, the rich kid who just overtrains himself, but the immortal from the Amazons, the immortal from the oceans, there's these gods. The Green Lanterns are supposed to be the most powerful beings in all of the universe. So you have this whole thing of but Jim, and you make a good point. Thor is a Marvel character, and he is as a Norse god of thunder, sure, and that's a standout character overall in the Marvel universe, as opposed to list all the gods in the DC universe. It feels like the DC heroes have always been more monolithic and more like up on a pedestal, whereas the Marvel superheroes have always been kind of accessible. You have a large cadre of street level heroes in Marvel. Now, is one better than the other? That's a debate that can go on for years. I love some Marvel titles. I like some DC titles. I think there's it's Coke and Pepsi. They do the same thing. They just do it slightly different recipes, right? So I'm not going to sit here and go,
this
DC
is better,
Marvel.
this is what.
Yeah. So, but what I'm going to say is DC has had this difficulty in making their characters relatable outside of animated series. They have been a bang up in the animated world. When it comes to animated series, DC has been just exemplary for decades, but they can't seem to translate that to the big screen.
And we've had that conversation before.
Yeah, when we were talking about the Arrowverse over on CW for the longest time. Where Marvel has done some decent animation work, but has really excelled at the silver screen with the MCU, right? So we can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So like I said, rewinding, slotting this into, like I started with my comment, my opinion, and this is just my opinion, this is not something you have to agree with if you don't want to, the Snyderverse was wrong. The Snyderverse took these monolithic heroes and not only put them back on a pedestal, but they put them further away from you. They took away that accessibility. They took this whole thing. Gotham and Batman were supposed to be the dark edge of everything, and even then Batman had this campy silliness to it, but a lot of people associate that with the 60s TV show with Adam West, but they took all of these characters that were colorful and full of hope and full of leadership and full of, personality, and they made them dark and brooding, and so like everybody was like Batman, up to and including Henry Cavill's Superman. And that's not Henry Cavill's fault. I think he's a brilliant actor. I've seen several pieces of film with him in it, not Superman, and he was phenomenal. So I think Henry Cavill is not the problem with the Snyderverse Superman, with the Man of Steel stuff. I really think that Snyder himself was the problem with that. He tried to spin the DC mythology into this dark, edgy thing. And yes, it's going to appeal. It will appeal to a general population at this time, but really, it wasn't appealing to everybody. And I think that's why the DCEU wasn't as successful as it wanted to be. Andrew C says, counterpoint, Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad 2, and The Flash were all part of the Snyderverse 2. Those were fun, not nearly as operatic as Snyder films. I agree with that. I think that was a really good chance for them to try and lighten the mood. But I think also that those particular pieces were unfortunately in the vein of Too Little Too Late, when they'd already done, again, this is just my opinion, done too much damage with the big three, with Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, the holy trinity of the DC mythology.
Did you know that this movie made people adopt more dogs, pets in general?
I was going to get to that, Sierra. Absolutely. Wow. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Batman beats everyone with prep time. No, Batman will never beat the Doctor, period. I'm standing on that hill. 10 toes straight down. Batman can never beat the Doctor no matter how much prep time he gets. So there you have it.
Or how much money.
Or how much money.
And time.
It's just going to happen. It's just, there's no way around it. And you know what? I think that's actually kind of an old and tired thing. Well, Batman can beat anybody with prep time.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's actually feasible. I think Batman has suffered from his own. Well, Batman didn't even do that. It was people who put so much faith into Batman, and I'm about to get my ass kicked because I know several people who really like Batman. I'm not trying to ding the Batman character. I'm trying to ding what Snyderverse has done, and what the a lot of the fandom has done to these characters. It's made that almost unattainable.
And Batman could be a long discussion for another day.
Yeah.
So
I'm very keen. I think it was very interesting is in the Superman movie that just came out, the Superman 2025 movie, David Cornsweet's Batman, or David Cornsweet's Superman. They didn't make any reference to Batman at all, which I think that's very good because you want them to stand on, on their own merits and build on that.
Because they're a metropolis, not Gotham.
Well, it's such a trap these days to. It's such a trap these days trying to do too much all at once. And James Gunn was like, he resisted that. Oh, you guys are still going on about Batman. I'm going into the Superman movie now, guys. You guys talk to yourselves if you want to, but I'm going on with what I was originally planning on talking about tonight.
Can I tell you what I liked in regards initially? The trailers didn't give away really anything other than the fact that he got smacked down.
Yeah, I mean, that was the opening scene, which I thought was really well done.
But it didn't necessarily. I felt like the trailers that I saw didn't give away the whole movie.
Yeah, that's true because there was still plenty of twists and turns and shocking moments that were kind of cool. Like yeah, that was cool. I like the fact. But here's the thing: is we've talked about trailers in the past, you and I, where they are really, no matter how much they pull them back to what they were like when we were growing up as the 60s and 80s, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. They still do too much in telling you the story in the trailer. Instead of teasing you, instead of making you interested in seeing the movie, they start telling you the story. I knew most of the premise of the movie through the trailers. I rather would have watched it, watched the movie,
It was a spoiler. It was a twist that I didn't realize that it was a clone of him.
Oh, Ultraman? Yeah.
Yeah, But I don't know if that happens to be in the comics.
Yeah, well, no, there's always some sort of clone action going on. It's usually around Supergirl, but there have been, in Teen Titans, the Superman who joins them, Connor, is a clone of Kal-El. So cloning is kind of a thing that happens in the DC universe quite often. So it's not trope or a mistake kind of a thing, but it's something that they have touched on and delved into. So, Sierra, remember go see Minecraft, and they played a Superman trailer, and I thought I was in the wrong movie.
Just because how it starts and things like that.
Yeah.
But,
I thought the movie was really good at bringing back the vibe of what Superman really is. How good he is, how at his core, how he wants to do the right thing. He wants to be, there for everybody. He wants to be helpful. He wants to be, a guiding light. He wants to be that positive influence. He really wants to be a part of things, and he's not afraid of being interactive with people. He's not afraid of, I thought it was really interesting to watch him as Clark Kent bantering with everybody and the sass going back and forth with folks and joking around with people. God forbid that he has a sense of humor. When he's in the kaiju fight, and you see this part of the trailer when he's in the kaiju fight, you see him say, hey guys, hey buddy, eyes up here, and talking to him. That was fantastic. I don't see Henry Cavill's Superman doing that. There was a brief moment in the Justice League, in the Batman versus Superman or the Justice League movie, where at the end, Cyborg and Superman are laying there. They've just blown up the mother box, and Superman's like, no, rather be dead right now. They both laughed that off. It was one of the only jokes in the entire movie that wasn't Jason Momoa.
And we also found that DC historically was not necessarily have a lot of humor or jokes and stuff in their movies, whereas Marvel has like a ton of running gags and stuff that goes in there, such as, I don't know what I said earlier. I'm like, oh, bring this to a party.
Yeah.
And like,
see that as a part. Yeah, when I was trying to stuff that shit in the garbage bag out back, you're like,
yeah.
Now, let me bring this to you. I don't see that as a party or something. I don't know exactly.
So I'm like, and that's the thing about Marvel is that we can start quoting things like that.
It is very quotable. They're very relatable, and I have a feeling that James Gunn is going to. He's not going to build the DCU to be an MCU.
No.
Right. He's not going to try and compete with the MCU. He wants to build a good home for this mythology of characters, but he's going to do it with that style that we've seen in both Guardians and now in the Superman movie, where there is a serious plot point. There are serious things happening, but they're looking at the light side of things. They're looking at the bright side. They're looking at the upside of things. They're trying to be better every day. They're trying to be better. You guys are still on the who's better than who, aren't you, over there? I love that. The comment section is just en fuego right
said
now.
Marvel had Blade, end of story.
Okay.
and yeah. And Vampire Pomeranians.
Andy Sr. said he enjoyed it too. He said he really liked the pacing and the fact that it was populated world where Superman and Lois could chat while other superheroes fight in the distant background. I thought that was a very interesting scene where Superman he's been beaten down. He's been, turned into this pariah, and he'd had enough, and he was sitting this fight out, and you can see this creature in the background. You can see through the window, and you can see the Green Lantern beam. You can see, Hawkgirl flying around and whatnot. So you can see that people were already engaging, and it was interesting how Lois is like, she looks at him and goes, aren't you going to go do something about that? And he goes, oh, it's just an interdimensional link. They got this covered. It's so interesting how you just kind of like, it's not that big a deal.
Well, I initially, when I saw that in the background, I initially thought it was like a drone light show.
Right.
That initially, and then as they were continuing, I'm like, oh, that is a monster. And oh, okay. So, but
Guy Gardner is a jerk. That is universal. Even Nathan Fillion, who played Guy Gardner, will tell you. But I think the best way Nathan described it was, if you have something terrible going on, you need the most powerful being in the universe. You call a Green Lantern, but then you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna send Guy Gardner, and you're like, oh damn. Nathan Fillion himself said Guy Gardner is a jerk.
I just couldn't get past the haircut.
Well,
I know it goes back to the comics,
that's the comics. That's
so, but I'm just like, oh
yeah, that hair should be against your coat. What? I mean. It was so great to see these different characters being used. And Isabel Merced's Hawkgirl was phenomenal. Not tremendous presence in the movie, but when she had a scene, when she was participating, she was definitely there. She was fully involved. And Mr. Terrific stole many of the scenes he was in. I thought that was just fantastic.
John Parangal said, love
Mr. Terrific fight sequence. And it was just so good to see these characters that have not been given their due outside of the animated series to shine. And we're going to apparently see Guy Gardner again in the Lanterns TV series when that comes out. So he's going to be one of the many Lanterns that's covered.
Nathan Fillion?
No. It'll be Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, but it's also going to be, you're going to see Hal Jordan, you're going to see Jon Stewart. And I believe there's even a rumor saying that Kyle Radner, who is another one of the Green Lanterns, I think he's the second Green Lantern after Hal Jordan, he will be popping up somewhere along the line.
But not Ryan Reynolds.
No, it won't be Ryan Reynolds playing Hal Jordan.
Did you know that,
I agree with you, Jim, on that one.
That number 4, which turns into Gary, was voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Oh, you could tell. See, apparently you can't have a robot in your movie or TV series without being voiced by Alan Tudyk these days. I mean, it's good work if you can get it, honestly. But he is now what?
K2SO.
Number 4. He's also in Resident Alien. He doesn't just voice his own character. He doesn't play his own character, but apparently he does a couple of other voices in the background. He's got several, and this man has built himself a career.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Tudyk is one of those guys you just love to know that he's going to be a part of it. You know.
Wash.
In order to introduction to the comics, 0, Alan Scott 1, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, John Stewart, Kyle Rayner. Okay, and more after. Right. I believe the current Earth Green Lantern is a woman named, oh God, I'm going to get it wrong, Jessica Garcia or something like that. It's a Hispanic woman, and she's just blatantly awesome. She's just freaking amazing. So I'm excited to get in on that, to find out a little bit more about the character. Jessica Cruz, thank you. I knew I was going to get it as soon as I heard it.
She's choosing violence.
Juno's choosing violence? She brought the sword. Ow, ow, I'm being attacked. What's hanging his voice? Oh yeah, too bad he's the only one with that voice, right? Do what you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we were talking about a little bit about Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult's Lex
God.
Luthor. Some people were like, I don't know, we thought he felt one-dimensional. I didn't think he felt one-dimensional.
No, can I tell you, I hated him.
Well, you're supposed to.
You're supposed to. That character, horribly.
Yeah.
Horribly. I was like, I'm like, he's
and he was so driven. He was so driven and so blinded by his anger and his jealousy. And it was just pure Lex Luthor. It was just what you'd see in the comic book. People are so used to, real estate scams, essentially, which has always been weird to me because he kind of got stuck in the Gene Hackman, archetype there. But soon are we getting an alien as a guest?
No, getting Alan as a guest.
Oh, getting Alan as a guest when we can afford him.
When you sponsor us?
Yeah, somebody's going to need to sponsor us. It's always interesting to me, and we're going to run down our guest list in a minute. It's interesting to me how people look at our lovely little small market convention and think we have the firepower to bring in these tremendous names.
Mark Hamill.
I joke about that all the time. Mark Hamill. His guarantee is somewhere in the vicinity of 3 times the budget of the show, something like that. It's up there.
It's up there.
Yeah, it's up there.
Close to, I would say, $500,000.
Oh, easily, easily. And and I get it, and I appreciate that people are concerned with, they want us to succeed, and I love that. I appreciate that support. But let's be honest, when we say these are our headliners, and people are like, oh, that's not headlinery enough. And would love to talk to you about sponsoring us. And if you can pony up, we'll go for it. That's the kind of thing that works for it. But anyway, that was a sidetrack. Moving on. Andy M felt the same thing about Luthor, feeling he was one note, but I thought he demonstrated all the requisite depth for the screen time he had. I'm with you on that one, Andrew. Superman was top 5 DC film, top 10 superhero film for me. I really enjoyed it. I'm with you on that one. And I loved the whole repartee with the dog because... And again, love crypto ragdolling Luthor at the end of the movie. I thought that was phenomenal. That made me so freaking happy. And Sierra Beers pointed out at the top of the order there, the great positive influence that this movie has had is people going out and fostering dogs, which is a fantastic thing. People are like, oh yeah, Superman is fostering a dog for the time being. And here's another spoiler. You find out that it's actually Supergirl's dog at the end, and he was just watching it while she went off and partied.
Has no discipline whatsoever.
And because she has no discipline. And that's great. You know what that's setting up? It's setting up this whole plot line from a comic book series called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, where Kara Zor-El is dealing with the loss of Krypton. Here's the difference that people are and we're going to talk about Supergirl for a moment. Supergirl and Superman have a different viewpoint of Krypton. Superman has no recollection of Krypton. He was a baby. He got sent to Earth as a baby. He has no remembrance other than what was told of him. And we're going to talk about that again in a moment. Supergirl was a teenager. She remembers Krypton. She remembers all of that. She knows she lost something. She lost her family. She lost her home. She was put in the suspended animation, and she was supposed to show up at Earth before Superman got there so that she could take him under his wing or under her wing and take care of him, right? But it's screwed up. So that's why Supergirl looks younger than Superman, because she's actually older, but she was in suspension. There's a whole schmoz that went on there. And and so what you're going to see is where Superman is like, okay, I'm ready. I want to be the hero. I'm going to go out into the world and present myself as Superman and try to make a difference in things. Supergirl is kind of along for the ride, and she's not as she's got a journey to go on right now, and so that's going to be very interesting to see how they present that. I think it was a very wise decision to make the second DCU film a direct sequel to the first by directly continuing Superman with a Supergirl film in a year. I agree. Just picked up a trade of Woman of Tomorrow at Empire Comic Fest. Excellent, John. I hope you enjoy reading that. There's just so many different things going on. Now, there is a twist in the Superman movie. Here we go, spoiler territory once again. So if you have not watched the movie, you're going to want to take off for a little bit. Where Luthor manages to get into the Fortress of Solitude with his people.
Oh.
And they decode this message that had been mostly broken up over the years. Like Clark remembers watching this message from his mother and father, and
how much they
they love him, how much they have hope for him, how much they've done it, and how positive, up, support. And it's what inspired him to be Superman. But then Lex finds a way to decode the rest of this message. And somebody had mentioned earlier, number 4 had mentioned, Gary mentioned it earlier, that message was broken. This was the only thing they could restore. Well, Lex finds a way to restore the whole message. So this whole second half pops up and gets sent out to the public, where it's horrible. His father and his mother are like, you're going to be more powerful than these people. You can dominate them. You can lord over them. You can create, you can rule over them, create a whole new Krypton, and it was just, it was so the antithesis of what we were used to the sacrifice that Jor-El and his wife made to rescue their son and to send them forth into the world willingly to say, hey, you're going to go be a hero, go take care of these people where we couldn't take care of our own. I thought that was the one thing I did not like about James Gunn's interpretation of the lore, of the mythology. Mm-hmm. Melissa goes on to say, when my sister and I discussed, we agreed that from the movies alone, this was so very different, and we struggled a bit with him getting his butt whooped right at the beginning, then not having this chemistry with Lois that we're used to, Lex not being kind of a goofy villain, etc. I can appreciate that it's closer to the comics, but I was just confused and liked Mr. Terrific more than anything. Mr. Terrific definitely stole the scenes he was in.
Yes.
I can't say enough. I really feel that this is connecting Superman the movie character to Superman the comic book character a lot more intrinsically than it has been done so in the past. Everybody's always going to say Christopher Reeve was the best, and I agree. Christopher Reeve's Superman 1 and 2 were probably the best superhero movies of the era, and will go down as legendary, movies for a long time to come. 3 and 4 should never have been made, but I can share that take with the Highlander movies as well. Getting his butt whooped was stated on screen to be his first and still only time it's ever happened to him, and it was by his own clone. But here's the thing: I think what the opening was trying to say is that the Superman we now know in this version thereof is still new to being a superhero. He's strong and powerful, but not experienced yet. So you have like the interview scene between Clark and Lois. He's impulsive, which is not something you normally see. You normally see a Superman who's methodical and calculating and understanding of the situation and decisive, not impulsive. There's a difference. So yeah, that only 3 years of superheroing, I think, lends itself to putting a little bit more credence into him getting his ass kicked once in a while and it being good for him. I think it's
humbling.
It's the losses. I tell my kids, life's not perfect. Sometimes you have to take the L to build up for the win. It's. I think that this is a Superman who's got a lot of learning to do, but when he comes into his own, it's a look the hell out. Is essentially what we're looking at this point.
Well, and as I tell my students, mistakes are the first chance of learning.
Yes,
the first step to learn.
First step of learning. So I've read that one before as well. What do you think?
I was I'm like at an 8.
You're at an 8 out of 10. I am also probably an 8 out of 10. I wanted to go to 9 out of 10, but like I said, that twist with the message from the parents, how they were like, you can go and just be a king. And I'm like, that is so not the essence of what I'm used to from his family, sending him off. Our great sacrifice is you're going to be this, hero, and you're going to protect them, and you're going to teach them, and you're going to guide them, and they're going to be wonderful because you're going to show them the way, not lord over them and recreate Krypton. And that was just, it was so incongruous. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
I think also that my popcorn is too salty.
That I don't think James Gunn had.
No, he didn't have anything, but yeah.
Oh,
I only ate about this much of the popcorn on the top.
It was cute when you realized that when Superman realized that Krypto had been kidnapped.
Oh my God.
And somebody's like, it's just a dog. He's like, I know, he's not really even a good dog, but he's probably out there alone and scared. I'm like, oh, there's Superman. There he is. He's realizing that even
they stole John Wick's dog.
Yeah. But even Krypto, as annoying as Krypto was, and as frustrated as he was with Krypto, no,
you gotta go get him.
He's gotta go get him. This is the right thing to do. I thought that was just a phenomenal moment.
Get toy.
Yeah, that was great. That was so much fun watching Krypto with Mr. Perfect's drones. I thought that was fantastic.
No, well, but the Lex Luthor
and Lex Luthor's drones too. Yeah, get the toy.
Get the toy.
There's a lot of good moments, and I think that's what's going to string this together. This is a foundation for more. This is the foundation to build something new and something vibrant. I think that's going to be the best part, is vibrant, and eventually they're coming close to casting Wonder Woman. People are already talking about potential casting of Batman. So you've got your holy trinity of DC superheroes coming up. The Lanterns TV series is coming out. There's a Peacemaker series, of all things. Of all the people to link the Snyderverse to the DCU being John Cena's Peacemaker. What the hell? Are we serious on this one? But hey, rock on with it.
The Peacemaker's next.
Yep, exactly 1 month from today. So there you have it. That's a thing. Oh my God. And in a month and a half, almost 2 months, a little under 2 months from now, we're going to have a show of shows. Speaking of headliners, let's introduce you to ours. Hang on just a second here while I click on this. Here's one of them right here. The lovely and vivacious. Oh, there we go. I know how to click buttons. Amy Acker. Actress, a person of interest, The Gifted, Angel, Buffyverse, Alias, and so many more things. You're going to get a chance to meet her Saturday and Sunday. With her will be DB Woodside from Buffy, also Buffyverse, Lucifer, 911 Lone Star, The Night Agent, and several more things. He's like one of those, hey, that guy kind of characters. With Amy and DB, you're going to see such new to you faces as Kaylee McKee. We just got a little video from Kaylee, I think.
Yes, it's not up yet.
It's not up yet. They'll be posted in the next 24 to 48 hours. With Kaylee will be Megan Hollingshead, Guy Gilchrist, who we received a video, and that got posted recently. Jeff Klein's going to be joining us once again, Michael Golden, and Renee Witterstater. And there's been several others that we have not yet put onto the roster of fun here. But folks, this is brewing up. It's going to be a good show. Ann told me that we are already securing extra portable air conditioners and air moving fans. Yep. We're working with the venue on their ventilation and air moving. So here's the thing.
We're working on it.
Nobody anticipated how hot last year was going to be, because usually that weekend in September is really about 60 to 70 tops. Nobody saw it coming in at 85 plus, right? And that made a lot of people very uncomfortable, right? Starforge Sabres is going to be there again. Awesome. Good to hear. But we like Tony Stark, we learn from our mistakes. So we're preparing. And if the weather does rear its ugly hot head like it did last year, we're going to make sure that you stay as comfortable as possible. We're going to have water stations and misting stations as well. So we're already planning on that in the future.
I strongly suggest that people check out Amazon cooling towels. You can get them wet. You can put them in ice, get them wet, wring them out, put them on the back of your neck, whatever. They have hoodie ones that you can put on top of your head. I used mine last weekend for the Geneseo Air Show. Because it was brutal.
Right.
So I
spread the word, folks. Spread the word, folks. We're we're going to have those. We're going to also make sure that you have them too. Yeah, guys, we wish we could have done things different last year, but we were not prepared for what Mother Nature threw at us.
Mm-hmm.
We worked with the venue. We did everything we possibly could to keep things as ventilated as possible. And now we are learning to what we're going to do for this year. We're going to prepare and make sure.
And I just saw something on the news earlier when I was getting my nails done that Rochester is warmer than it ever has been in the past. And it's like,
but climate change is not real. Please. Chris, I just noticed I had the same shirt. Da-da-da.
I have that shirt.
She has that shirt too.
I have my Wonder Woman shirt on underneath here.
That's it.
DC.
Convention weekend, I'm wearing my NASA shirt. So Sierra, we have to twinsy. Just saying.
Triplets?
Triplets.
I'll have to get them.
They'll get mad at me if I don't wear my FC3 shirts.
And you can put your jacket on. But if it's hot.
If it's hot, I'm not putting my jacket on. Electrolytes are key, man. Electrolytes are key.
Yes.
As always, gang, if you have any questions for us, please feel reach out to us on our social media. We would love to hear from you. We would love to ask questions. Ask nice questions. Ask good questions. Ask constructive questions. You know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm looking at. Just saying. I'm watching you down there in Governor. Anyway. Also, if you have not yet volunteered, what's keeping you? I'd love to have you as a volunteer. Yes, even you over there. Go to fc3roc.com, click the apply button, and click on the volunteer application. I'm working on that this week. So if you have applied to be a volunteer and I have not talked to you yet or reached out to you via email, that will be happening this week. We are doing meetups. We had a meetup in Black Creek Park last week on the 29th of July. We're going to be doing a meetup, I believe, in the Irondequoit Town Square.
We're double checking, but yes, it's going to be in Irondequoit.
It's going to be in Irondequoit. So we're going to be doing an east side event.
And then we're going to kind of do a south side. In a couple weeks. I think we're going to be meeting up at Genesee Valley Park.
Okay, so keep that in mind. We're not going to be doing these tremendous amount of formal meetings for volunteers. We're going to be doing a lot of meetups, some informal events. I'm going to be doing some Zoom calls with some folks to make sure that they have access to information that they need to do the jobs. And then we are going to have some fun in mid-September. But until then, this is a very jarring transition, but it's a transition nonetheless. Until then, you guys have a great week.
Have a safe week.
Have a safe week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Up and away.